Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom ended with the dinosaurs escaping Lockwood Estate and going into civilization, and people were excited to see what happens next. A couple years later, Universal made a short film called Battle at Big Rock. It was made to promote the newest Jurassic World movie, and it was also well received by everyone. Then they released a prologue for the film, which was titled Jurassic World Dominion. It was also very well received by everyone. Then the trailer was released promoting this film as the final film in the Jurassic franchise. It was bringing together the old and new cast for one last adventure. It was also well received by everyone. Then the actual movie came out and, yeah. Jurassic World Dominion is currently sitting at a 77% audience score and a 29% critic score. That's only 14% more than Morbius. There has also been a couple of YouTube videos saying that this is not only a bad movie, it's the worst Jurassic movie made. How did this film go from being the most anticipated Jurassic movie to the most disappointing Jurassic movie? Let's find out. So let me go over what they did to promote this film. So first, they made the Battle at Big Rock short film, which is about this family who tries to survive an attack from an Allosaurus. Then they released a prologue, which shows the Giganotosaurus kill a T-Rex. Then it cuts to 65 million years later, and it shows the new T-Rex, or Rexy, attacking a drive-in movie theater. And then they released the trailers that talked about how humans and dinosaurs can't coexist.
Humans and dinosaurs can't coexist. We created an ecological disaster.
We're racing toward the extinction of our species. We not only lack dominion over nature, we're subordinate to it.
Now let me tell you the plot of the actual movie. It's basically two stories. You have the original cast storyline, which has them trying to figure out where this mutant locust that's eating all the crop is coming from. Then you have the new cast storyline, which is Maisie gets kidnapped and Owen and Claire have to go to save her. So both groups end up going to Biosyn, which is where the two storylines meet and become one. So the old cast end up getting the sample they needed to prove that Biosyn made the locust, and Owen and Claire get Maisie back. Did you notice how I didn't need to mention dinosaurs? Now don't get me wrong, there are dinosaurs in this, and there's a bunch. In fact, I think this film has the most dinosaur screen time out of all the Jurassic movies. But the promotional material will make you think that this plot would be like humans trying to coexist with dinosaurs and showing how hard it actually is. But nope. They just skip over that part, and instead we have these mutant locusts that are eating all of the crop. This film does a lot of telling and not showing. The film starts with a news broadcast talking about how there are indeed dinosaurs in our world, and we do get some iPhone footage of dinosaurs interacting with humans, but I mean, that's pretty much it. And it says that most of the dangerous ones have already been captured. It's like if Avengers Infinity War ended with Thanos snapping his fingers and wiping out half of all living things. And in the beginning of Endgame is a news broadcast talking about how the Avengers brought back everyone. Like, yeah, it says it happened, but we barely saw it. Later on in the movie, they said it took them 3 years to catch the T-Rex. But the only time we see it is in the prologue, which is just straight up cut from the theatrical release of the film. It was re-added to the extended cut of the film, which is amazing. If you were disappointed with the theatrical cut of Jurassic World Dominion, definitely check out the extended cut. It makes the movie a lot better. The film ends with dinosaurs peacefully living in our world, interacting with the animals and wildlife. But it doesn't show how they finally learned to live with us. It doesn't even tell us how they are now coexisting. Throughout the movie, it says that it's very hard to coexist, and it says that there's dozens of people dying from dinosaurs. It goes from 4 years with no progress on being able to coexist to humans and dinosaurs just coexisting with no explanation. This film is supposed to be the big finale to the Jurassic Park franchise, but it doesn't really feel like that. Yeah, they do bring in the old cast, and they have a bunch of references to the original movies, but it doesn't really feel like it's over. Let's take the ending of the film, for example. The film ends with some narration and some shots with dinosaurs interacting with our world. Now, who do you think did that ending narration? Was it A, Ian Malcolm, B, Henry Wu, or C, Owen Grady? If you guessed any of those, you would be wrong. The ending narration is done by Charlotte Lockwood. Who's that, you ask? Great question. Charlotte Lockwood is Benjamin Lockwood's daughter, the one that was mentioned like twice in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Yeah, she gets the ending narration to the entire franchise, which would be fine if this was the end to Jurassic World. But no, this is the end for the entire franchise. And while it was cool seeing the dinosaurs coexisting with us, it just didn't feel earned. Also, the whole movie doesn't really feel like a finale because the big threat is the mutant locust, so it focuses on that for way too long, to the point where at some parts it feels like you're watching a different movie. Now lastly, I'm going to go over some small changes I would have done that would have made the movie 10 times better. First, I would have replaced Louis Dodgson with Henry Wu. I mean, he's literally the Thanos of the Jurassic Park franchise. He's been there since the beginning. They try to give him a redemption arc in this film, but I feel like he would have been so much better as the main villain. And I know that Louis Dodgson and Biosyn is from the books, which would have been fine if they did it right. Louis Dodgson was a big part of the books, especially in The Lost World, where he was like the main antagonist. But the only time he's appeared in the movies was in the first Jurassic Park movie, and he was in it for like a minute. If he was more present in the films, then this would have made more sense, but he's not. He's not even mentioned. So I feel like Henry Wu would have been a better villain. Next, I would have moved Biosyn's headquarters onto Isla Sorna, which is still canon, they've just been ignoring it. I actually think it was even mentioned in this movie.
The first generation came from Sorna. Most of the newbar dinosaurs are here too.
I feel like that's where Biosyn's headquarters should have been. I mean, it wouldn't really change anything plot-wise because Biosyn's current location was unreachable and in the middle of nowhere, so I feel like it would have been better to put it on Isla Sorna. And it would also explain my next change. Next, I would have took out the Therizinosaurus from the final fight, and I would have replaced it with the Spinosaurus. It would have made so much more sense to have the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex team up, because in the first Jurassic Park movie, the T-Rex fought the Velociraptors. And then in the first Jurassic World movie, the T-Rex and the Velociraptors teamed up to take on the Indominus Rex. And then in the third Jurassic Park movie, the Spinosaurus killed the T-Rex, and then in the third Jurassic World movie, the Spinosaurus teams up with the T-Rex to kill the Giganotosaurus. These small changes would have made the movie so much more better, and it would have made it feel more like a finale. Okay, I know that this video is making Jurassic World Dominion look like it's the worst movie ever, but it's actually not. And while everything I said is true, I do think people are being a little too harsh in this film. There was a bunch of stuff that I liked about this movie. Like, this movie has the most animatronics used, and it has the most dinosaur screen time out of all the Jurassic movies. And I really liked how they were able to incorporate the original cast, actually making them main characters instead of just cameos. I liked how the original cast and the new cast have different storylines that eventually get intertwined with each other. So overall, Jurassic World Dominion isn't that bad. It's not perfect, but it also could have been worse. I'd say if you're a fan of the Jurassic franchise, or just fans of dinosaurs in general, you should check this movie out.